Hey guys, I'm cmasupra and welcome to another Company of Heroes gameplay commentary. As you can see, I'm Panzer Elite, my opponent is Brits, and we are playing on Langres, I think is how it's pronounced, although I say Langres, because when this game came out in 2006 I was too young to really care about the right pronunciation. So anyways, this game is pretty much how to beat SimCity as Panzer Elite. So like if the British player makes a lot of emplacements, how do you beat them? Because he has anti-tank, anti-infantry, you can't really artillery them if you picked another doctrine other than the artillery doctrine, because if you pick your doctrine too early, that's a possibility. So what do you do to beat the British SimCity as Panzer Elite? I don't really remember what I do. I know what you're supposed to do, but I'll have to explain it along the lines of what I do. And I don't remember what I did because I recorded this a few weeks ago. I thought I was good for recording a few weeks, but clearly I wasn't. It's been way too long since I made a video. This is going to try and fix that. I think I'm good for recording now. School is over. I think grades are actually due today sometime. Yeah. Today's Monday, by the way. In case anyone cared when I was recording this. It'll be up either today or tomorrow. So yeah, anyways, I'm prioritizing fuel with my Kettenkrad on the left. You see I have the left 2 fuel points, and now I'm capturing the high munitions point. And I'm also sending all of both of my infantry to the left side so I can stop him from taking the left side, and I know he will be on the right side of the map. So that way I know where he is, but he does not know where I am, unless he decides to come to the left and sees my infantry, in which case we both know where the other person is, and it's equal. But right now he's on the back foot because he doesn't know where I am, although now he does because I'm capturing his point, his cutoff point, until he moves his HQ. And once he moves his HQ, that would no longer be his cutoff point. Well, I guess it still could be, depending on where he moved his HQ. So let's see, we have 2 Panzer Grenadiers versus 1 infantry section and 1 Brin carrier. I'm pretty much guaranteed to lose the fight unless I'm in green cover, but I really wanted to disconnect his HQ from the rest of the map. And I knew his HQ was still at the top location because it was too early in the game for him to have moved it if he was smart. If a British player moves their HQ really early, then they're pretty easy to beat because they won't have any early firepower, and you can just outgun their infantry, and they can't do anything about it. Ooh, this is not good. My Kettenkrad's being shot. Ooh, he took the time to build an MG nest. The first sign of SimCity, although I did not realize it at the time. I'm realizing it now. I'm actually doing pretty well against this Brin carrier, but that's because he had his infantry section build an MG nest, and so his Brin carrier took all the force that my guns were throwing at him, and his infantry section also actually got hurt pretty bad, but I ended up having to retreat because of the MG's suppressing power and the fact that my infantry would not stay in green cover. What am I doing with those Panzer Grenadiers just sitting in the base? I was probably waiting to build a building, wasn't I? Considering I have 250 manpower now. Reinforced all my infantry. And am I not going to build a building? What am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll find out sometime. They're just all standing there, full health. What am I doing with them? Anyways, my Kettenkrad is capturing points on the left because I know he's on the right. I can safely capture on the left. Now I'm moving out with my infantry. There we go. And I retreat 1 squad to build a building. And I'm floating 360 manpower. That's not smart at all. I probably didn't realize it at the time. And then once I realized it, I retreated the squad and was like, oh, I should build a building. And this infantry squad is screwed if my other infantry do not show up sometime soon. They are really close. Oh, what's gonna happen? Yes, he retreats that squad. I can just now focus fire on the other squad at the top of the screen there. If I can hurry up and move all my infantry. There we go, but he's moving away, as you can maybe C on the minimap, depending on how well the video renders. And he's going to capture that munitions point at the top. Interesting. He expects me not to follow him. Oh, he expects me not to follow him because I know that MG nest is there and it'll suppress me if I follow him. So he knows I'm going to have to go around the hedge as I am doing, if you can see on the minimap. There we go, now you can see. I had to go around the left side of that hedge because I didn't want to be suppressed by that MG nest. And he knew it, and he took advantage of it by taking the time to capture the point, and then he retreats once I show up, and he has the point. That was a smart move on his part, but sadly for him, I'm taking it back already. He at least got a few munitions out of that, and there's the Brin carrier, full health, which means that he used munitions to repair it. Yeah. Alright, so now that I have all the points on the left pretty much, I'm using my Kettenkrad to capture on the right, which is kind of risky because I don't know where his infantry is on the right. I know he has a lot of infantry up in his base because I've seen so many of his infantry retreat. And it looks like he's building another MG nest with his infantry here. And his first MG nest is going to suppress me. Am I going to retreat, or am I just going to stay there and see what I can do? It's usually best to just retreat, but sometimes it's better to stay if you're trying to flank or if you're trying to scout or something when you're getting suppressed. In this case I stayed, but it was not better to stay, so I ended up retreating after I got pinned, and I took a lot of damage from that, so that's not good for me. But it is what it is. When to retreat and when to stay is just something you have to learn over time. That is something I have learned pretty well, but apparently I didn't execute it well here. I wasn't thinking or something. Let's see, he's trying to take the victory point. That's not very smart when my half-track is right there. He really should have retreated. A 4-man squad went down to 1 man. That's what? I can't remember how much it is to reinforce British infantry. It used to be 45, but I can't remember if they changed it. But if it is still 45, 45 times 3 is... What's 50 times 3? 150 minus 15, 135. So that's 135 manpower down the drain for him, because he didn't do anything to me, and he didn't get the point he was trying to capture. And ooh, do I get his lieutenant here? Probably not. Oh jeez, move the Kettenkrad. I don't want him dying. I probably don't get his lieutenant here. No, he was way too full health, and Panzer Grenadiers don't have enough accuracy to kill him that quickly before he got out of range. So now my Kettenkrad is very low health. I'm not quite sure what to do with him. I have most of the map, so if I try to capture any points with him, it's a pretty risky capture, and he might die because of how low health he is. So I decided to leave him in the base while this firefight goes on. And he has a mortar up. He's mortaring me. This is not good. I absolutely hate the British mortar when I'm playing as Panzer Elite because there's pretty much nothing you can do about it early game. I mean, granted, this is not early game. I now have an AT half-track out, but there's still not much I can do against, there's not much I can do against that mortar. So I'm just fighting it out, hoping that the mortar does not hit me. I do manage to take out a lot of his infantry that were in the building, but sadly he's taking out a lot more of my infantry than I have of his. I decided to take over the building he was in, hoping to get some kind of damage going on that Brin carrier, because that Brin carrier is really hurting me. It's suppressing me quite a bit. That mortar shot got 2 of my guys. 1 more guy. Am I going to retreat that squad? I am. I have 2 squads in the half-track, but that half-track is almost dead, so I get the infantry out. My AT half-track is shooting at my Brin carrier. This is becoming quite the big battle right now. Veterancy on something. Ooh, 1 infantry squad. Oh, another veterancy. I need to retreat. No, I don't. He reinforced. Or I reinforced. And that is doom for my half-track with that Bofors cannon. Ah. Something to note with the Bofors cannon, it does more damage at long range than it does at short range. So if you have enough health on whatever you're trying to charge it with or destroy it with, just come up right next to it. I mean, you can only do that if your unit has enough health to come up right next to it and kill it and get out without dying, but that's something to note. It has more damage at long range than it does at short range. So use that knowledge accordingly. So he has pushed me off the left side looking at the minimap. I'm repairing my Kettenkrad now because my infantry is just sitting there reinforcing. There's no reason for me not to repair it. And I barely kill that Bren carrier before my anti-tank half-track gets destroyed. I just got the support command upgrade because I'm going for Panzer IVs. That's something I always like to get against the Brits when playing as Panzer Elite, doesn't matter what map. And that's because the only things they have that can counter it are the Churchill from the rightmost doctrine the Brits have, I can't remember what it's called, and Cromwell's and Piat's. So if they want Churchills, they'll have to go to that doctrine, and then I can just get a whole bunch of anti-tank, and that doctrine is totally nullified. If they go Piat's, that means that I can just go heavy infantry, because they're spending munitions on anti-tank rather than on anti-infantry. If they go Cromwell, that means they're teching fast, and I can just outgun them before they go for the Cromwell, or before they get the Cromwell. So I always like to go Panzer IV against Brits, and I usually get it earlier than this, but in this case I was getting it late because I'm trying to fight a Sim City and I'm trying to keep map control at the same time, and it's not working out too well. And in case you're wondering why I'm not really talking about the Sim City aspect of it yet, that's because this is really a small Sim City right now. Although that just changed. It now has 2 Bofors cannons, 2 MGs, 1 mortar, 1 anti-tank gun, aka the 17 pounder. So I'm like, okay, let's get in close and do as much damage as we can. Oh shoot, we're getting suppressed. What do I do now? This is what I'm thinking. I don't know what to do when I'm playing this game. Or when I was playing this game, I was not sure what to do. I ended up just taking losses and retreating. That is not good at all. If you don't know what to do, sometimes it's best just to retreat. Which is what I did too late in this instance. So, we can now call what he has a Sim City. I would say that that is a Sim City. So now I'm thinking, okay, how do I counter Sim City as Panzer Elite? I have not had to counter Sim City in months. This is the first time I've seen Sim City in months playing as Panzer Elite. So I'm trying to think, like, what do I do? How do I counter Sim City? I'm not quite sure I figure it out. I know that by the end of the game I figure it out. I mean, that's obvious based on what I've said so far, but I don't think I figured it out till close to the end of the game. But that's just a guess. I don't want to say too much and spoil anything because I don't even know if I'm spoiling anything because I don't remember exactly what happens. Like I said, I recorded this a few weeks ago. But ooh, hey! His HQ is here. I decided to go around the left side with my Panzer IV because he had all those emplacements on the right side. So it's just like, hey, I'm gonna go around the left side and wham! Or bam! There's his HQ. I'm gonna take advantage of this. Can I kill the HQ before he gets to the right side where his 17 pounder is, and then I'm screwed with my Panzer IV? We'll have to find out. I just have a whole bunch of infantry sitting here apparently. What do I want to do with them? Oh wow, he's capturing the left side quite a bit. He took my fuel, he took my victory point, and I'm just sitting... No, my infantry is moving on the minimap, I can see them. They are moving up towards his left fuel. And my Panzer IV is going to kill that HQ. That would be so awesome. Yay! Now I want to back up before the 17 pounder starts shooting at me. But then I realize, oh, the 17 pounder is way out of range. I am so far out. I'm just going to I'm just gonna hull down here and shoot all his emplacements and screw him over so that he can't do anything. I'm just hitting him from behind. I'm hitting him from his weak point. That's really the lesson I wanted to teach here. When your opponent goes SimCity, find his weak point and just send everything there. Put all your pressure in the weak point so that he cannot react and fix his weak point before you destroy everything. So I have all my infantry on the left side. Not sure what I'm doing. Oh, I'm trying to make sure my Kettenkrog can continue capturing points just in case he is able to counter my push on his weak spot. And really my infantry would not be of any use up in the north with my Panzer IV because they don't do much damage at all to emplacements. So I only have my Panzer IV being my force at the north. And it's working out quite well. I've destroyed a Bofors cannon, I've destroyed an HQ, I've destroyed an MG nest, I'm about to destroy another MG nest. It's working out quite well. I hit him in his weak spot. I think I've destroyed about half of his emplacements, including the ones that are there when you start the map. And I'm actually capturing points with my infantry to try and get the map so he can't come back from this push that I'm making. And you might have seen I clicked on the 17-pounder to see what its range was from my Panzer IV, and my Panzer IV was right outside of the 17-pounder range. So that was awesome. I was like, yes, I can just sit here. He can't do a thing about it. I am floating a lot of manpower and fuel and munitions, actually. Actually, that's not a lot of munitions if you have munition abilities from your doctrine. But I don't, because I haven't picked a doctrine. So I'm floating quite a bit. Don't float, people. Don't float any resource. Especially manpower. If you float manpower, you're gonna do a whole lot worse than if you float something like fuel. Because without manpower spending, you're not gonna have any fighting units. But without fuel spending, you'll at least have some fighting units. So, what's going on now? Oh yeah. This is stage 2 of my attack. So I hit him around the top, on the north side of him, where his weak point was, with my Panzer IV, and then I decided to upgrade Panzerschrecks and just attack his emplacements with Panzerschrecks, wherever I could find a weak spot in his emplacements. And this is another weak spot I found on the left side. Sadly, I only have one Panzerschreck in that squad, and I did not send any other Panzerschreck squads to go help destroy this. So, there goes that. Something of mine got destroyed. I think my Kettenkrog got destroyed. I just built a mortar half-track and another Panzer IV infantry support tank. There's the mortar half-track. I'm thinking that the mortar can help it can help destroy emplacements from far, while my Panzer IVs take the brunt of the force, because Panzer IVs have a lot of health, but they don't have much damage against anything but infantry. But I guess they do have a high rate of fire, so they will do most of the damage against the emplacements. So my mortar will help destroy the emplacements so my Panzer IVs don't take too much damage, and that's basically my strategy. My Panzer IVs take the brunt of the damage and do most of the damage, but the mortar will help them. And I think it's worth the 240 manpower and 40 fuel. I think that's what it costs. Late game, I don't even really pay attention to what things cost. I think that's a sign of why I do bad sometimes. That's why I'm still a level 11? Yeah, I'm level 11. I think I have Brits is 9, 2 factions are 10, and 1 is 11. I can't remember which ones are which. All I know is Brits are 9. And there's his Bofors shooting at my infantry. So I move my mortar back, move my infantry... No. I moved my mortar back because of his infantry, not because of the mortar. So, Oh, I'm moving my infantry forward to his infantry to try and kill his infantry, but I have to retreat because of that Bofors. And now I have 4 Panzerschreck squads. I don't have double Panzerschrecks, but I'm okay with it. I think 4 Panzerschreck squads are enough to take down a Bofors cannon, and you'll see I'm moving in really close to him. I'm not even stopping to shoot. I'm moving in really close before I start shooting at all, because that's where he does the least amount of damage. And he's trying to snipe my infantry. But anyways, as you saw, I destroyed the Bofors, and I just got right out of there. I just retreated. Take as little damage as I can for destroying his stuff. That way I get the highest cost efficiency of my units. If I destroy one of his things really quickly before he can do damage to me, then I can just retreat right after destroying it. I take no damage. He lost whatever that thing cost that I destroyed. It's a very good deal on my side. Or very good deal for me. Now what I'm doing here with the funky camera angle is making sure that that 17 pounder on the other side of the house, on the left side of the house, could not shoot my Panzer IV, but my Panzer IV could shoot his HQ and the other emplacements in the area. That's what I was trying to do with the funky camera angle. As you can see, there's a 17 pounder on the left side of the screen. And my Panzer IV is on the other side of the house, but my Panzer IV can shoot his HQ. And now this Panzer IV is being shot at, so I move it to the very back. Like, oh, I hope it's out of range here. I hope the 17 pounder cannot hit my Panzer IV. And it turns out that my Panzer IV at the north is perfectly fine now that I moved it back. Ooh, I just killed one of his infantry squads right there. And I see those sappers, well, I see those sappers next to the building right there. I know they're going for Piats, so I'm like, okay, focus fire on those sappers, kill them before they get Piats. We cannot let them get Piats. Yes, you killed them. You know they're going for Piats. If you ever see sappers and you have a tank that's doing really well, you know those sappers are going for Piats, especially if he does not have any vehicles of his own, because the only other options are demolitions and expert repair. He's not going to need expert repair if he doesn't have vehicles, and he doesn't. I mean, you can do it on emplacements, but it's not really worth it. And you know he's not going demolitions because he doesn't have enough map control to justify it. Demolitions is really only good if you are defending, but he's not defending. I have most of the map. And there's his HQ truck that spawned in, and my Panzer IV started shooting it immediately. How many Panzerschreck squads? 4 Panzerschreck squads and 2 G43 squads. I'm going around the left side because I know he does not have any MG nests on the left side, and then 17 pounders and Bofors cannons I can handle with infantry because they don't do too much damage to infantry if you get up close. And there goes the Bofors cannon. Got some veterancy out of it, and there's the HQ. Let's go destroy the HQ again. Oh man. Am I going to destroy the HQ or am I going to go for replacements first? Personally, right now, watching this, I go for the HQ, but I don't know what I went for. I went for the HQ, okay. So he has 3 17 pounders, none of which can shoot either of my vehicles, either of my Panzer IVs, so that is just working out great for me and terrible for him. So the overall lesson to be learned from this, I don't know how much time is left. Oh, it's already over. The overall lesson to be learned is when you're fighting against SimCity as Panzer Elite, find the weak spot and send either a Panzer IV there or a lot of Panzerschrecks. Because if you can just destroy one emplacement and then run away without taking any damage, you'll do so much damage to him psychologically and in-game. So he'll play worse, and then you'll win. And why was I looking closely at that? I think I was trying to figure out which direction it was facing. There's a 17 pounder that couldn't shoot my Panzer IV. You'll see he had no infantry left. Wow, he only had sappers. 1 squad of sappers. He had nothing but emplacements pretty much. And wow, 786 manpower on my part, and I never picked a doctrine. Oh well. So as you can see, I won pretty well, and if the game had gone on longer, I still would have won, guaranteed. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.